Welcome back to the lab. This is your host, Gabby Delisme. We are a community for ladies who want to get it done. We're operating on and in purpose. Hey, make sure you share this with a friend. So now you're joining us for part two of our interview with Sheryl Hunter, president and founder of Hunter Business Law. All right, tune in.
Embrace your differences and who you are in the world. And then being authentic about if you're not doing something you don't love and care about doing, you're not going to come across very well either, because people can see when you don't have passion and you're sort of ho-hum about what you're doing it. Yeah, I mean, you can, fake confidence, that's fine. But you can't fake an authentic love and passion for what you're doing or belief in what you're doing. So the authenticity and really working on yourself to develop authenticity and making sure that what you're promoting, which is your business, is actually the right fit for who and what you are in this world. And then the second thing I think is curiosity, because to me, curiosity is an underlier of being a great networker. Mm-hmm. If you know that you're going to a certain type of event, then go look at who's gone to these events before. Look at who are the members of these events. Who can you maybe read a little bit about? If you know who the speakers are and who's on the panel, go connect with them on LinkedIn, read a little bit about them. It will give you confidence when you walk in that room, because you'll be able to be like, oh yeah, I saw your recent, like you just said to me, you did some research, right? Mm-hmm. So you then feel more confident right, talking to me about these topics, because you've kind of done your homework. Mm-hmm. So, but you have to have a natural curiosity about people in order to engage in conversation with them. Mm-hmm. So those two, authenticity and then being a curious individual, I think helps propel you to being a better networker.
So one of the things that you mentioned was building our knowledge base. Mm-hmm. So is there a book that you would recommend that folks like dive into as they're building their business?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much information. I mean, I'm a big Audibles person, because you can listen to it at the gym. I listen to it when I'm putting my makeup on in the morning, driving in the car. You just press and go. So I'm listening again. I've listened to it before, but to Slicing Pie by Mike Moyer. So that's a great one when you're building a company through equity and you're splitting it between partners, right? And trying to avoid unfair allocations of equity compared to the duties and the contributions of different employees and partners, founders, what have you, and then with investors. Great book. Another one is called Venture Deals. Fred Feld is one of the authors. I can't remember the name of the other person. But Venture Deals is a wonderful book to help explain how to raise capital. So what is convertible debt versus raising equity? This is serious business, because when you're selling a security, when you're selling equity in your business, it is a security regulated by the Securities Exchange Commission, and there are state laws. It's serious, and you have to know what you're doing. But it does a great job of laying out the entrepreneur's perspective and then the VC or private equity firms in perspective. So I love that it gives you both perspectives, because that's a way of being educated. So that you're not just, how can they ask that of me? Okay, well, there's their perspective on why they think it's a fair take on it. I haven't done as much of the early stage reading as of late. There's tons of YouTube videos. I will say that. I mean, if you just have a basic question like about HR, right? Like, okay, I'm hiring an employee, like HR 101, you can go listen to it. It's amazing what's out there. Just be careful that you go to reputable sources, because there's also garbage out there.
Right.
So you can go out and proactively try to find information, but it does not take the place of having an advisor who can guide you. I call it issue spotting. Like, I feel like my number one job as a client's attorney is actually the issue spot for them, because they can go research something once they know the issue. If they don't even know the issue, they don't know where to start with that. So if they don't know that the employment laws, are not the laws of the state in which I am building my company, the employment laws that matter for the employee is where that employee resides. So if you're in Florida, but you're employing somebody in Wisconsin, well, guess what? If Wisconsin has overtime laws that are based on a daily 8 hours instead of a 40-hour week, you could be violating overtime laws and you had no idea.
Right.
So,
and with the rise in virtual assistants, all of that does play a
it
factor.
does.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. The independent contractor versus employee
Oh my
laws
goodness.
are really tough, very, very tough for early stage companies to navigate.
And so I know that you just moved to this location.
I actually have two buildings, so I still have the other one. Yeah, I was having a hard time finding like one big building, and I really love my little bungalow where we started because we've been growing.
Very cool space.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just fun, and it's, you know, that soft Tampa bungalow
Yes.
vibe, and we really wanted to, because we are the entrepreneurs law firm, we didn't want to be in a high rise downtown. Nothing wrong with that, but I wanted convenience for clients. I want them to be able to just zip up in their jeans or shorts, walk in, sign paperwork, meet with us, and then go about their day. And we also like to host events, and it's just easier to do it in our own building. So we bought this second building. So we call that World Headquarters. And right across the street, we have the annex. But I'm also developing, I was sharing with you, this is going to be the prototype for another little business venture I'm doing called Liberty Law Suites. So, you know, co-working is kind of all the rage.
Yes.
And I'm also seeing a pattern, particularly with young attorneys, where they're wanting to be entrepreneurial. They're wanting to start their own firms. So they have their own solo or small firm practice. And it's an alternative to being in a large firm, which is where I started. And I did the same thing. I needed to break away because of my own ambitions and desires to kind of create. And so I wanted to create something that where it's a co-working, but it's really more focused for attorneys, where small and solo attorneys can collaborate and can do work together. So we're going to take a few of the offices here, and then we're going to be developing other attorneys into the space. So.
Awesome. And as I read like more about you, one of the things that you made me think of Michelle Obama. So we read her book.
I haven't read it yet. I'm excited to read it. I've heard it was amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
And so she talks about her law career at the law firm that she was at, and she basically said, "No, this really is not for me." So she had to shift.
Yes.
And so I know that you shifted.
Yes.
So how did you come to determine or come to discover that you were purposed to be the entrepreneur's attorney?
It's been a windy road, but I will tell you, and this goes back to kind of trusting your own gut and listening to your own instincts and not trying to stay on a path that you don't have to know why, really. It doesn't feel right. It just sometimes doesn't feel right. So I started off at a great law firm. It was a coveted, one of the larger firms in Florida, very coveted position right out of Georgetown, moved down to Tampa. And really about a year and a half into it in particular, I was like, I don't want to be here. You know, I just didn't feel like it was the right fit for me. I couldn't even put my finger on it, but I thought I was kind of nuts. Like, this is a job everyone, you know, like really tries to get, and you have to have the good grades, and you work so hard to get these kind of jobs. And I kept pushing it aside, not listening to myself. And I was getting great experience. So, you know, it's not like I was suffering. It was nice pay and good experience. But after a while, I can't be here, you know. And a lot of it, looking back on it now, I recognize what it was, which is just I have such a need to create. And I didn't want to know I'm going to be in that office in 10 years and then maybe I'll be here. It was just too much of a known entity, you know, known quantity of how it all worked. I would say, wasn't getting client contact. That was based on the type of work I was doing. I was doing very large class action defense. You know, it's mostly the in-house counsel for these large corporations that you interact with, as opposed to the client founders, you know? So I wasn't getting that mojo of like talking to the business owners and collaborating with them. And that's really where my passion lies. And that became very apparent. I like the client contact. I like the one-on-one. I like to see tangible, direct results from my contributions as someone's attorney and therefore their guide. So, yeah.
I love it. And do you care to share anything about your other business?
Oh, my other venture. So I have a few things going on because, you know, I think when you're in the creative space with so many other companies, so we really are like outside general counsel to all these exciting businesses. They're at all different stages. Many of ours are very established, but we work with so many different companies, and so I get out these ideas and I can't help myself. So and it's also purposeful. I love what I'm doing, but I also have some things that I want to accomplish, like a mission-driven product line. So I am starting a company called Girl Talk Shop, and it's apparel with a lot of messaging. You can tell I like word things, and I have always had such a passion for quotes and journals and things like that. And so I'm starting. It's the first product is going to be Go Girl panties, which have inspirational messages on them. And the give back component, the mission component, is that I've been deeply troubled by something called period poverty. So period poverty has to do with girls and women, homeless women, girls in foster care, girls that are just from impoverished families, not being able to afford basic feminine products, tampons, pads, what have you. And as a result, they're skipping school. They're not engaging in sports. They're not engaging in the world. And their confidence is dropping because of this basic human needs not being met. Right. And, I get it. If your choice in your family is to put food on the table, pay rent, have heat, whatever, going out and buying these products that are fairly expensive, I understand it. And I just find it so troubling. And a couple of different things brought it to light more recently last fall. And so I wanted the panty project, Go Girl Panties, there'll be proceeds, revenue that is used to then provide products to women and girls.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it.
So thank you for sharing. And the fact that you are a mother, business owner, like multiple businesses, and are able to really maintain harmony or balance within all of this.
Where'd you hear that? No, okay. I'm trying.
Well, how do you?
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you, I think it's a daily thing. I think there's going to be days where you're like, I am so out of balance, and you have to carburate again. Oh no. Yeah. So I think that, to me, the most balancing thing is to do something that you do have passion for and love, because that will always get you out of bed, even when you're not feeling well. If you're doing stuff and you're working with people that you enjoy, that's gonna get you through a lot of tough times. But there's no doubt it's tough. And also taking care of yourself. Trying to go to the gym and eat healthy, and not fall into patterns of I'm so stressed, I'm gonna have a glass of wine. Yeah, wine's great, but you don't want to overdo that self-medicating, you need to balance self-care. So I don't really think that there's anything called direct balance. I think that it's more a daily effort to balance, the day-to-day. And I do feel that for me personally, the most critical thing is I don't like to miss things that my kids are doing, and so flexibility, and it's such a gift. It's probably the number one gift that I've given to myself by starting my own businesses, is if my child has something at 3 o'clock in the middle of the day, I get to go do that, and I hope that most employers allow their employees to do that, but there's certain businesses that don't afford, they just don't lend themselves to doing that. You can't be working at a hospital and just leave at 3 o'clock, just because on a random day. So I think that's another really significant benefit of starting and running your own companies. And I think that's a big reason why so many women do run and start their own companies, is so that they can have some work-life balance and feel like they're a good mom and a good wife and a good supporter, of other people in their life. And then there's the caregiving of our aging parents, which is a whole nother big challenge that women in particular face disproportionately. So number one thing is to take care of your health, because none of this fun stuff can be done if you are unfortunate to be diagnosed with a serious illness.
And you don't know this, but you may know, in 2017, I actually reached out to your office to have you come speak to an entrepreneurs roundtable that I was having.
Yeah.
But your schedule was super packed.
Yeah.
And so you couldn't make it. Now, I had seen you in the Tampa Bay Business Journal. You had won the Businesswoman of the Year,
Yes.
so congratulations.
Thank you.
And you just continue to showcase like why you received that award. And so we actually met is your birthday in October?
September. You're close to
September.
end of September.
So
Yes.
we met like just after your birthday at
Mhm.
the Social Ventures Partnership
Yep.
event, and
Yes.
so Social Ventures Partners event
Yes.
for gyms,
Yes.
where we were doing the
Girls
pitch
Empowered
comp-
Mentally for Success, by
Yes,
the way.
thank
Awesome
you.
organization. Yep.
We were working on the pitch competition,
Yes.
and so that was just like amazing, mind blowing to me because I'm like, wait a minute, I just like tried to reach out to her and now she's like here, and so
Yeah.
I'm just grateful with how God has unfolded things,
Me
all
too.
in due season and due
Yes.
timing. So I thank you so much for participating in this interview.
Oh,
and
I think it's
sharing of
fantastic what
yourself.
you're doing, and
Thank you.
you're creating that environment for women to gather and have support and get knowledge. So it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, I appreciate you.
Okay.